Hey everybody, welcome back to Doc Loyal Talks Comics. And I did a a front video for yesterday. And today I want to talk about something else with my normal, usual backdrop. And that is, when did comics stop being fun for you? Or have they stopped being fun for you? And I give you Exhibit A that I picked up, and it's War Machine, also known as Iron Man. And this is Iron Man issue 283. That was from when? From 1992. And you have, I think it is, yep, Len Kaminsky as the writer and Kevin Hopgood as the artist. Now, this was about the time that I was getting into Iron Man. I actually have some of the Paul Ryan issues from the 270s with the Mandarin. Excellent armor, excellent penciler. Kevin Hopgood is no slouch. He brings a lot of energy, he brings a lot of detail into this new War Machine armor, which, that they originally hadn't called it War Machine. But when Jim Rhodes takes control of this armor about 10 issues from now, or actually more like 4 or 5 issues from now, then he starts using the moniker of War Machine instead of Iron Man. He didn't want to be associated with Tony Stark. He wanted to be his own man, and so he became War Machine. And this is the, I believe, third appearance of War Machine. There was a cameo in 281. There was a full-blown cover in issue 282. But here we get to see Iron Man teaming with the Masters of Silence to bring down Justin Hammer. And you get panels like this bottom one here where Iron Man is just breaking through a wall or destroying, something impenetrable. And to me, this book was fun. That's one reason I collected it. I collected it from probably on and off, like I said, in the 270s originally, all the way through issue 312, which is the hands of the Mandarin. But Kevin Hopgood was exciting as an artist. He wasn't always the most dynamic with his poses and things like that. But when I go back and I look at this book, all I think about, starting with the cover, is just sheer, pure entertainment. And sometimes we get that from covers now. Let's see, what do we have here? From that same time period, we have this Green Lantern by Darryl Banks, okay? You get Hal collapsed, firing off energy into space. You get a sense of urgency, okay? From here, you get just a image of something waiting. This Joker is waiting for something, and it's supposed to be a card, like out of Joker out of a deck, but still, it's just a static image. Okay, let's see what else. Another older book that we have here. We have the Avengers, the last issue of Avengers Volume 1. And you get to see all of these dynamic poses. You get to see the faces, the Gil Kane type imagery, things like that. So older books tended to have, matter of fact, speaking of Hands of the Mandarin, here was the prequel fight between Jim Rhodes and Iron Man in issue number 8 of War Machine. So it just feels like back then, in 91, 92, 93, you got all these dynamic covers. Even Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns, with just that stark image of Batman, floating across the sky with the lightning coming down across him. It evokes movement. It evokes kinetic energy. You wanted something like this on your cover to blow off of the page so that people would say, man, I don't know who this black armored Iron Man is. What is going on here? He's got shoulder-mounted cannons. He's got this minigun right here. He's got this different type of design on the armor. He just looks pissed off. That's what got people excited. That's what got our blood pumping back in the early 90s and the mid 90s. That's why the speculator market came and blew everything up, because of the excitement. Something else that I see over here that was about the same time in the later 90s is this $2,099 Unlimited issue number 1. You still have Hulk 2099, ripping the cover apart, it looks like, and then you have Metal Scream and Lacrimia, for lack of a better term. So, but you get these things and they look like they're jumping off the page at you. And occasionally you'll get that in a modern book, but not always. Not always. It's not like that. Here, you get all the excitement and the punch, and you're like, man, I've got to own this book. Even today, when I saw this book on the shelf, I said, I got to pick that up. I don't have that one. I've gotten rid of it over the years, so I've got to pick that book up. Let me see from the books that came out this past week. There you go. You've got this one by Paul Azaceta that's showing off on the seasons, and it does have some forward momentum. It shows that these two girls are going to go chasing after their family. They're going to attack their sister Winter, and not necessarily attack her, but try to talk some sense into her. Okay, so you've got that to look forward to, and then you have something like Dork number 2, where you get to see just this time killer. Can't believe I've forgotten that character's name already. Let's see here. Time Lord. So this Time Lord is standing over Dork and the chicken and the shield. And then on the back cover, then you get this picture of the chicken, the headless chicken, and his body, and he's trying to catch his body. So sometimes you do get that adventurous spirit where this looks like a swashbuckling adventure, but not often anymore are these books just jumping out at you. Take case in point. You have Nectar issue number 1, okay? It's a story about butterflies, but this is a sweet cover. This is not something that, if you didn't know what the story was about, you might think this is a book talking about the different variations of butterflies. You wouldn't, if you didn't know that it had a horror tinge to it, it wouldn't force you to pick that book up, okay? And let's see, let's go back. Give me just a minute. Okay, let's take it way back to the Silver Age. This is my extremely beat up copy of Fantastic Four number 13, but it's mine. You can't have it. The Red Ghost's hand is reaching up from where? From where we don't know. And why are the Fantastic Four on the moon? You don't know. You have to find out. You have to go back and read this issue and say, I gotta know. I gotta know who the Red Ghost is. I gotta know who these characters are, why they're on the moon. Then if you go a little bit newer, then here's my also beat up copy of ASM 144, and you've got Spider-Man there, and that really looks like Gwen Stacy's leg and foot. And you have to say, whoa, wait a minute. She just got killed 23 issues ago. How can Gwen be here? I need to open this book and find out. So, to me, it just feels like these comics these days have lost that sense of fun, that sense of dynamism, where you get all of this energy, this pull to want to collect these books. I still love my comics. I get tons of them each week. You see this. But at the end of the day, the covers don't draw you in. So what do you guys think? Do you think that the covers still have that same, boom that brings you in, or is it like nectar where you kind of have to know the story in order to get the full picture? Just some thoughts that I had today, guys. Just some thoughts. So let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll catch you in the next video. Have a wonderful Saturday, and we'll see you later.